Welcome back. This is episode 69 of the Part-Time Players podcast. This is a video game podcast where two pals this week discuss the week's video game news. My name is Reece Lagden, and I am joined, as always, by Bradley Seeley.
Hello. Welcome to the rude number of the podcast.
Yeah, we've been waiting for this. We've been leading up.
I don't know why is it rude?
I don't know. It's some kind of position that you can do during.
I don't know. I'll Google it when we're finished, and I'll find out what's happening.
Ask your fiance.
Yeah.
Ask her. After the podcast, ask what it is, and then come back and during 70 and tell everybody.
And tell everyone. Okay.
What she said.
Right. Okay. I'll do it.
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah. I'll do it. Yeah. People might be thinking this is going to be a spooky Halloween themed episode because we're recording on Halloween.
Sure.
It's not. No,
it's not at all. We've done absolutely nothing. No. As per usual.
Yes.
We're about as lacklustre as a Destiny event, you know.
Yeah.
You get super hyped beforehand and then it comes to it and it's just the same activity. So we're doing the same podcast, but it happens to fall on Halloween. So
Halloween, maybe put some spooky.
I would say I'm going to change the theme at the beginning, like a tune. Yeah. Like a Halloween themed one, but I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about.
Well, you would know that by now because
I was thinking Halloween themed. You know, it's episode 69. Oh my God, there's all these fit. And I just thought, you know what? Nothing. I can't bother to do anything. So
Well, what is your favorite scary movie? Let's say that.
My favorite scary movie is Wreck.
Wreck? I've never heard of that.
It's a Spanish horror film.
Oh, okay.
It's very good. It's set like in a. It's a film. It's about a reporter filming a fire crew around. They get a call to this building, and it's kind of been infested with like kind of like zombies. But it's kind of got like a religious kind of theme to it. Well, I kind of think like someone's possessed. That's possession. Watched that years ago. It's in Spanish, obviously. I read like with the subtitles.
Okay,
really good. Yeah, really good.
I've never seen it. I'm not a big fan of horror movies.
No, they've done an American version called Quarantine with the sister from Dexter in it.
Okay.
It wasn't as good. No,
Wreck is... The Spanish version is the better one. Okay, cool.
Spanish one,
I may check that out.
Yeah, do it, yeah. Wreck.
I do like zombies, although they are kind of overused in all kinds of medium, especially video games. We always seem to have some random zombies, to the point where they're now not calling them zombies. They're calling them like, what do they call them in Days Gone?
Freakers. I know you've got Shamblers, Freakers, Walkers. That's Walking Dead.
I like Walking Dead.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Well, this conversation's going nowhere because I don't know one. But
I was going to say, what's your favorite horror film? But you don't watch them, so
I don't have one. I really liked Walking Dead for a bit, if that counts. I know it's a TV show that I really, really liked.
Yeah, I used to like when I was a kid. That? Well, when I was not a kid, but when I was younger, I used to watch all the corny horror films from like the 70s and 80s, like Hammer horror films.
Sure.
I was watching with my dad, and we had ones with Peter Cushing and what's the guy who played Sauron? What's his Christopher Lee. Okay. There's always like Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee, and there's one where they had this skeleton and it got water on it and it come back to life and murder people and like Dracula. Yeah, I used to watch all those. Yeah, the Hammer horror films are pretty good.
Yeah. I don't mind all those things. It's just not really my thing. I have to be honest. I prefer more psychological stuff. It's more what I'm more interested in. Although I guess does the Saw count as a horror? Saw movies? They're not really scary, are they? But they're quite gory.
Torture porn.
Yeah,
they I think the first one probably did, but after that they just kind of like, actually people want to see people getting ripped apart and thrown in. The worst one was in Saw 2 where they pushed that woman into a pit of needles. That kind of give me
heebie-jeebies.
But that's our horror talk.
Yeah, well, we've covered it now. Halloween done.
Although I was thinking, and I can't believe it's a year ago when we done this, I started playing Doom because I thought that was when I tried to have a little bit of a. I think we might have done a scary game one last year. So I started playing Doom 2016, and the last time I played it was last year. So that went well.
Like most things you play, you start it with the intentions of beating it, and just something happens and you just don't. It's fine. I guess you played Resident Evil at the beginning of this year for a good period during, I think, around spring. Yeah, all of you were playing some form of Resident Evil.
And I did do that. I done both runs through Resident Evil. So I completed Resident Evil 2 completely, and I did start playing it on the hardcore mode.
Sure.
But I didn't
Yeah, it's not a news story this week, but I'm pretty sure there was news this week that I think one of the Resident Evils is going to be in VR. They're converting another one. So
yeah, 2. I think, is it 2? Maybe
they're putting 2 into VR now. Yeah,
oh,
I'm not sure which
VR
one it was, but I know
terrifying.
Yeah,
it really would. Yeah,
but, I'm sure Brad Moore will happily jump into that. He's our Resident Evil VR mind the pun, but yeah,
no, definitely. Yeah, it's good. It's good. I do like some. I've got more into horror games lately than I was before. I'm watching a PlayStation Access, very good channel on YouTube. I'm doing a walkthrough for Outlast, because they are very themed. They are very themed with their content around Halloween. They'll do it, and then they was playing Outlast 2, and I just don't think I'll be able to play it because
it's scary.
It was terrifying, yeah. And you got to look.
Is it on PS Plus or was that the first one? I feel like
the first one was. I don't think number 2 is. Yeah,
sure.
But yeah, just check that out. It's good. It's good. Good content. Yeah,
good content. Well,
and we're not on, and we're kind of not on YouTube anymore, so they won't take any of our views. So.
Well, we are. So go check out our YouTube channel.
Yeah. Listen,
Part-Time Players Pod, or search us on any podcast platform. Part-Time Players Podcast. Like, subscribe, write us a review if you wish to do that. We really do appreciate it, and just write into the show on Instagram, Twitter, wherever. Tell us what your favorite Halloween movie is or game. We'll be interested. Maybe we can
and
do something with that
for the listeners. I actually get to play Spider-Man Miles Morales from tomorrow, because I put myself on a little self-imposed ban. Nearly a year of owning it. I'm actually going to start playing it again, or playing it.
I know we're further in autumn now, going into winter.
So I'm going to be playing that. So we're going to plan it on doing a year anniversary review, because we've never really, I don't think we spoke about it before, because obviously I hadn't played it.
No.
So that's an upcoming episode. Because we're gonna get one in the bank, because we can't record 1 week. So we're gonna,
as our long-term listeners may know, I don't know when we said it, maybe last week or the week before, but we're going to Vegas at the end of the month. So we will not be around. So we're going to try and bank one so we don't miss an episode. We'll be doing a review, a spoiler discussion, not really a review, it's a bit late for a review, but a spoiler discussion, our thoughts on Miles Morales, and perhaps where 2 is going, what we think of 2 as well. Maybe we can look into the future also with that, but we'll see. That'll be coming in the coming weeks. Let's talk about the news this week then.
This week's news. So I'll lead it off with Halo. So Halo got a campaign gameplay. First look after the nightmare, which was last year, and it actually led to the game being delayed, with all the Craig memes and and whatnot. I watched it. I need to find out what the story, how it got to this point, because I've kind of, like I said before, I've not played 5, started playing it, haven't finished it. Maybe I'll try and finish it before. I don't think it's very long. Maybe I'll try and finish it before 5 comes out. If not, I'll watch a YouTube video to see what's happening. Because where I was in 5, there was more Spartans than there is. Like, you only see Master Chief. So I don't know if something happened, or Nathan Fillion was one of them. Nathan Fillion was a Spartan knocking around somewhere. So I don't know what happened to him. But I'm going to watch it. So, but in terms of like the trailer and the gameplay, I think the gameplay looked good. It's completely different. It's kind of we've not had a Halo game where you can kind of have an open map where you can go to and do what you want. In the first Halo, there was a level when you first land on the ring, you kind of have to go and save some Marines, and you can decide what order to do it in, but it was obviously still kind of linear. This one kind of looks, you've got a lot more freedom. You can just, obviously Warthogs going in there. I think they're called Hornets, the little, little gyrocopter things that you can fly.
Sure.
But I know you said
a welcome change, this open world map. Is this what you want from a Halo?
The most important thing for me for Halo is a good, I like the online, but more now the story. I want a good, tight narrative. I want it to, and they're saying this is going to be the last one, the last Halo in this way, like a Halo campaign, single player, you know, because I think after this, they're scanning into a obviously live service like Destiny. Is going to be seasons and whatnot.
This is this though, right?
But I think like you've got the campaign here. Like, I don't think there's going to be another like campaign like this, like we've seen before. And I don't have much expectations of 343 because their games have just kind of been, or they haven't been good. Basically, they've not been good Halo games in my opinion. That's not been good since Bungie, left. So it looks good. Looks a lot better than the other, the original trailer. I don't know what the whole like what do you call it, like that rope you can swing around and grapple onto enemies,
the grapple hook.
Yeah, like the grapple thing. Yeah, that's kind of a bit like Doomy. I don't know if I like that.
Or Just Cause. That's what it reminded me of, and I'm not taking it as like a dig. But I watched the trailer, and it was just these open world map that looks like you're getting all kinds of vehicles, loads of destruction, a grappling hook. And I was watching and thinking, isn't this just Cause, but with a Halo skin?
Yeah,
I don't mean that as like a dig, considering I'm not a Halo fan, Xbox fan, whatever. But I was watching it thinking, it just didn't sell it. Nothing to me. I was hoping whenever I go into any Xbox showcase, particularly like Halo, their big stuff, I'm almost like going with the mindset of please sell it to me. Like, give me a reason why I should jump in. And I'm always left a little bit empty-handed, and it just didn't. It doesn't entice me at all to want to get an Xbox or play the game. And I guess unless you really like Halo or you got that nostalgia, like you said, the music draws you in.
Yeah.
For me, as just a neutral,
it was
doesn't do that.
The nostalgia kind of, the music.
Yeah.
But we've got here, it's got a little, this is on GameSpot. So it's in Halo Infinite, players will be trekking. So just so like our listeners can, if they haven't seen it, this will give them a little brief overview. Okay. In Halo Infinite, players will be trekking across Zeta Halo, taking down the banished enemies who have overrun UNSC encampments. Players will have the freedom to fight the banished in a variety of ways to get the job done. Halo Infinite also changes up the series formula by adding RPG style system that allows players to augment Master Chief's equipment to their liking. Again, kind of leaning towards a service where obviously you can just. I think that's the way of I think Destiny and other stuff. You can change armor and all the cosmetics.
This is going a little bit more like a Ubisoft type game. It sounds like it's got to be enemy settlements. And then you got different upgrades and different things, like a Ubisoft game, right? Like that's like what it sounds like.
Far Cry.
It sounds like a cross between Far Cry and Just Cause.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's on Game Pass. Like I don't have to think, I'm gonna potentially spend, I don't know, £60, wherever you are, on a game that I might not like. It's on Game Pass. Yeah. So I have it. I might as well play it, give it a go. So I will play it on the 8th of December when it gets released. And I definitely will jump into the online and give that a go because obviously I used to really like the online. I'll give it a fair crack and then report back. But it looks better than it did. There's a few new enemy, there's like a new boss, looks like an elite Spartan killer. Yeah. So you got him to contend with. I don't know. One bit I don't like is there's Forerunner stuff in it again, and I just don't really like change, but I liked it when it was the Human Covenant War. Like you fought the Covenant, you had used obviously the UNSC. Yeah, that's what I liked. When they started introducing all the precursor, what are they called, the precursor? I think. Well, I don't know. But if we got Forerunners, they introduced them in Halo 4, and it just kind of felt a bit. I didn't like it, but again, it's. Yeah, this is the direction 343 went in. So
sure, yeah, maybe they wanted a bit more of a variety, maybe a different enemy type.
Maybe, yeah.
It's common. They'll probably bring the others because that's normally criticisms with other live service games like Avengers, for example, only having the aim bots. That you do need another enemy type, like a Destiny that's got multiple. So I'm sure they will introduce them. Maybe expansion. They're going to do expansions.
Yeah, they've got in this one, you still got the Covenant there, but obviously they're with under the banish. So you got Jackals and Grunts and Elites and Brutes and that. They're still there, but then you've also got the Sentinels and the Forerunner ones and which it's not for me. But
sure. Do you think it's a problem that there's only one biome, one location? This foresty area. That's the only in the multiplayer. That's all they show is this map, and also in the single player, all we've seen is this one map.
Yeah,
for like a sci-fi fantasy game, is that an issue?
Yeah, Halo. Like I would say, Halo 1, one of the best games I've ever played. That was all set on. I think it was maybe Alpha Halo. That was just like you had like a foresty bit. Actually, you had a foresty bit. Then the best mission was when using like a snowy bit. So hopefully they will have a different, maybe like dungeon type kind of know areas, because I just don't know how it's going. But it looks good. I'll as I say, I'll give it a go and I'll relay my thoughts onto it.
Sure. Maybe it'll play good. Maybe it's one of those games where it's just like gameplay first almost, and you need to know the feel and play as much as cheap, and that's what makes the game, rather than someone, I don't know, like myself, who hasn't got that, I don't know, that muscle memory of how it plays, and that's what the game is about. To me, it just looks a little bit of a, doesn't look bad. It just looks good. It looks decent. It looked like an 8 out of 10. It doesn't like, and for me, I feel like Halo, because it is the crown jewel of Microsoft, Xbox, it should be competing with God of War and Horizon. And funny enough, Sony dropped a little blog post that day at the same time, which clearly was on purpose, about Horizon and how you can traverse differently with Aloy.
Yeah.
And that little clip of her sliding and then gliding down, and it just looks so much better. Maybe I'm just biased, but I just looked at that little clip and I'm just like, wow, the quality in terms of, and you could even argue that Horizon's not even Sony's biggest IP. It's like one of their smaller ones. And I just think the quality, there's a big gap.
It is a shame what's happened to Xbox, because you think back, you had like 2008, you had Halo 3, you had Gears 2, I think it was 2008. Like Gears of War was again another massive franchise. Everyone loved it. Like, there's really good story, great gameplay. The online was tough, but it was good. And you had Fable, and now it's just kind of like Forza. You got Forza, you got that, and
they're number one in Forza versus Gran Turismo. Gran Turismo was number one, and they've dropped the ball.
Yeah,
Xbox dominates in that market.
They've got Forza,
totally
but
agree with that.
Yeah, Halo and Gears of War, and there's a new Fable coming out apparently, but we only saw like half a minute CG trailer.
Yeah.
That's it. Nothing else. And I haven't heard anything else about it. They need to.
And with the Perfect Dark stuff, that whole news was very bizarre.
Yeah,
building that studio, whether or not we want to take the quadruple A seriously or not, maybe it was just a posting and they didn't actually mean that. But the fact that they're getting Crystal Dynamics to partner make their game, I just think that's weird. That's very bizarre. So obviously Game Pass is a big driver. They don't have to justify the £70 price mark that Sony does. So quality maybe is not as important. Maybe it's more about quantity to keep the subscription service going. Maybe they would rather have, so they're having 2 10 out of 10 games a year. They want 4 or 5 8 out of 10 games. And that's the benchmark of their quality. As long as they're pumping them out quarterly,
it will say subscribe. Like, I've had Game Pass now for ages, well over a year, maybe like a year and a half. And there's, Gears of War 5 is on there, Halo 5. You got these games on it I used to love, but I just don't bother playing them. Like, I played Gears of War 4, and it just, I don't know, it wasn't very good.
Okay.
And I just, it just said something about it. Like, someone like me who used to be all about, I was very much, 360. I didn't have a PS5. I bought a PS5 and I sold it. I bought it at launch and I sold it, but I didn't buy another one until the end of its life, around the time when The Last of Us 2 come out. And for me to then completely just fall off of Xbox, like, I didn't even bother getting an Xbox One until a little while later, when my mate was getting a Series X, not a Series X, Xbox One X, and he sold me his Series Xbox One S. That's when I got that. Otherwise, I don't want to bothered. It's crazy. And I think they lost a lot of people. Jumped over to PlayStation.
Yeah, it's not surprising. PlayStation have done everything right during the PS4 era, to be fair, didn't they? From the console to the marketing around the console to the games they've released, and to consistently basically release 10 out of 10s or 9 out of 10s for a good number of years, really high quality. So, and it looks like they're going to continue to do the same this generation, although you guys haven't played pretty much any of them. You look at the review scores of like Returnal, Ratchet and Clank, Deathloop, although that is technically Microsoft now, from the Demon Souls to Spider-Man Miles, like pretty much all the games, they're in the 80s in Metacritic. So they're really, really doing well. And they're big hitters, they haven't even gone yet. They're probably going to come next year with God of War and Horizon, and we'll see what Naughty Dog do. I'm sure Factions surely got to be released next year. Where's that?
Thought so, yeah.
So,
But I will move. That's actually a good segue on to PlayStation numbers. So we're coming up to a year now. Getting next month, like tomorrow, will be the month of the year anniversary of the PlayStation 5.
Yep.
Obviously, we've been lucky enough to have one since day one.
Yes.
We was on it. But so this has got the PlayStation 5 has surpassed the mark of 13.4 million units sold worldwide, according to the latest financial report from Sony. Of that total, 3.3 million consoles were sold in the quarter between July and September, representing less than expected growth, according to analysts. This is due to the shortage of chips to manufacture the console. A little bit more news on PlayStation Network. PlayStation Network, meanwhile, has a drop in active users with 104 million players in total, in addition to fewer PlayStation Plus subscribers, currently with 47.2 million players. So it's worth remembering that recently the competitor Microsoft announced that it had a 16% increase in its games division, with 166% growth in demand for the Xbox Series X and S. They're doing good numbers, especially as this chip shortage it's not just affecting consoles, it's affecting everything, like graphics card, cars. I know people that have ordered a new car and it's been delayed so many times because of these I don't know what they call it. I always forget semiconductors. Yeah, they're in everything, turns out. So you're struggling to get everything. So
a lot of them come from Taiwan as well, I believe.
I think Taiwan, and they just shut down production because of obviously COVID. So and then it just takes you don't notice at first, I suppose, because they're all there ready to go. But then once they're gone, the supply chain's been broken, and you have to get back up. So
exactly. COVID was obviously going to affect when you have a global pandemic and everybody decides to lock down the entire world for a couple of months. There was obviously going to be consequences of that, and obviously we're seeing it in the world of tech. We're seeing it here in the UK with petrol a few weeks ago. Things were always going to be disrupted, but not to blow smoke at Sony's arse, because I feel like I do that a lot, but I think it's super impressive. The numbers, like considering the circumstances that they had to go through, like you said, semiconductors being sparse and competing with everybody else, especially like the bigger boys like Microsoft and Apple, who've got so much more money than them, and obviously demanding chips. And the fact that distribution problems as well. I think they had to use planes to get PS5s around the globe. And despite all those hurdles, they've actually managed to outsell the PS4 in this period of time. It's quite impressive.
It's the thing as well, with scarcity. If you know you can't get it, you want it more. So as soon as they've hit in certain retailers, as soon as they've landed, people have snapped them up. I don't know how many of these are, see, whoever, it doesn't matter who buys them, it goes towards these figures. So we know scalpers would have taken a percentage of this, and then they could potentially just still be sitting in a warehouse somewhere if they can't shift them, because it's going to get harder and harder. If someone did buy a bucket load of consoles, it's going to get harder and harder to sell them once they start becoming more available. So
that's why I always find that argument a little bit difficult to believe why anybody would sit on this opportunity. Do you know what I mean? If you've bought one to then sell on,
greed, they want to get the most amount of profit available.
Which I think would be now, right? Why it's still not available.
You would think, but maybe these people aren't. I don't know.
Smart. I don't know. Anyway, no, it's quite impressive. The numbers are very impressive. And another kind of shocking thing, which I guess we've kind of skipped around, is that the fact that you still can't even openly get it in a shop anywhere around the world. Like they're just not, like a year later, and they're still not available. That's quite, I know we were speaking about it just around about the end of November after we got ours. I would not have expected a year later we're still in this situation. So it's quite a unique situation, but I think they've handled the situation perfectly. They probably couldn't have done any more. And I guess it's not a bad thing that people are annoyed with them, the fact that they can't get hold of something that they're trying to sell. I think it's almost like a win-win for them, right? You're annoyed with us because you want to buy our product. Well, we want you to buy the product. So there you go.
Yeah, no, I definitely, it is very impressive. And it is the kind of console I think Xbox Series X's are still kind of a little bit hard to get hold of. I know S, I think if you want an S, you can just go out and grab one.
Yeah, S's are ready available. X's are not.
Yeah.
Although it's interesting that they won't give numbers. Obviously, they're below Sony. I think it was like at the beginning of the year, but around about April, I think EA or Activision released some figures. So then people put 2 and 2 together of how many Xboxes were sold. And I think it was around about 8-9 million, I think. So it's a little bit behind Sony. But the fact that they're only going, where demand is 110%. Well, what does that mean? That's meaningless. That's just investor talk. Like how many have you sold? How many units? Give us a number. How many? What I really want to know, which they never told anybody, or any of us, or publicly anyway, how many subscribers are there on Game Pass? What is that number? Tell us. It's just demand, or this has gone up like by percentage. How many millions people are actually subscribed?
Yeah,
because I reckon there's probably more PS Plus subscribers and PS Now subscribers than there are Game Pass.
You reckon?
I reckon so.
Maybe PlayStation Plus, but I don't think PlayStation Now. I don't really. Does anyone have that service?
I'm not saying it's better, because it's clearly not. But I think there'll be more people that are subscribed to that than there are Game Pass.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm Game Pass. I'm one of those Game Pass people, and I don't use it. So yeah, there you go. The next bit of news we have is now you can probably understand this a bit better. Returnal 2.0 update brings suspend cycle and photo mode. So I get what a photo mode is. I know that one. Most games have photo modes now. I don't use it. I don't really.
Maybe it doesn't.
Photo mode.
So just finish on that last point. 3.2 million subscribers to PS Now, and that was May this year reportedly.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm sure it's higher than that, to be fair, but still, a lot of millions of people subscribe to that service. Interesting.
Yeah, it does though. Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's great, is it? PlayStation Now.
No.
Okay, yeah. So back to Returnal. Photo mode's been added. I understand photo mode. I don't use it though. I don't really care.
Yeah, I don't. I don't get
I used
fascination about it.
Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima to get a trophy, and that was it.
Oh yeah, true.
And then, but yes, so I suppose the bigger point is the suspend cycle. So you've played this game. Can you go into what it was before, how the game was before when you was playing it, and how this will improve? Do you think it will improve
it's a decent quality of life change that some may say should have been in the game initially. I don't know if I totally agree with that, but it is a welcome change. Basically what it's doing now is, because it's a roguelike, obviously you do runs. However, if you close down the game, your run would end. So wherever you are on the run, whether or not you're doing a good run, you would just start from the beginning. Like when the ship crashes, are like a loop. When you died, the ship will crash and you start at the beginning and you go round. That is how the game would always start when you picked it back up again.
So when you
unless you suspended your game and put it on rest mode, because obviously the game's still running, that was fine. Now, if you close the game down, basically it will save where you are in that run and you will continue on. So suspend the cycle.
It sounds like something that I don't play these type of games, but it sounds like kind of something you'd want to be there. So originally you're doing a run, you'd have to get to the end, and then the next time you turn it off, you'd start from that point. I take it you wouldn't have to go back to the ship.
You would always start the ship.
Always start the ship, but you don't have to fight that boss at the end.
So each biome would have a boss at the end.
Yeah.
So if you beat the boss, you would obviously be able to continue and go on to the second biome. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But if you turned it off at that point, you would start back at the ship at the beginning, but you wouldn't have to beat that boss again. You would just have access to go to the second biome immediately.
Just go straight there.
Yeah. Okay. That's kind of how it worked.
Yeah.
Where because of the difficulty of the game, I don't know that many people that I wasn't very good at it, so my runs didn't last very long. So it wasn't like I was on this run for hours and hours. I'm like, I need to stop now. Yeah. But I'm going to continue going. It was always like, these runs are like 20, 30 minutes tops. Like you get it and then you die, or you get so far. And so it's not as useful as it sounds, if that makes sense. Because I don't know who would stop mid-run. If you're doing a good run, you would want to continue going, because it's so difficult to stop and then continue going mid-run. Yeah. I feel like I would just immediately die. So yeah, it's a welcome change, but I don't think it is as handy as it sounds. I think what the game does need, and what I was expecting to see when I saw the 2.0, was them to add a god mode, which I'm calling a god mode, which Hades calls it a god mode, where you basically just give the player a health and a damage buff.
Okay.
You're not changing the difficulty of the game for other people. You're still the same mechanics, but for people that can't do it or find it difficult and just want to get to the end of the game, maybe disables trophies. Perhaps that's the penalization of doing that. But just you click a button, God mode, or in the menus, and you have like a 30 or 25% health buff and damage buff. And it just makes the game dramatically easier for people that just don't want that challenge anymore. I think that option
should have been there.
It should be there. Yeah, absolutely. I just don't understand why they're not doing that, because I would go back. I would like to finish the game. I would generally enjoying it. But when I found out once you get past the second biome, the difficulty increases massively.
Oh, wow.
I felt defeated. Like I was already struggling in the second one. And I'm thinking, this is almost like the easy part. When you get to the third and fourth, it gets dramatically harder. And I'm just like, do you know what? I can't be bothered. And that's when I was out, because I thought, I'm not grinding to get to that stage to then be faced with this daily mountain of difficulty afterwards when I'm already struggling with this hill, I guess. But God mode is needed.
Yeah.
Or whatever they want to call it. You know what I mean? Just an easy mode for people.
We've spoken about this before. We don't tend to play games like this, Bloodborne, Demon Souls. The new one, Elden Ring, is coming out. What was there was like a samurai one. What was that called? Sekiro, yeah. We don't play these games, so we're not good at these games. And I saw Returnal and I was like, it looks quite cool, but I knew I'd never play it because I wouldn't be able to do it.
There's a lot of difficult games, I know, even like the Metroidvania type, like a
Hollow Knight.
Cuphead's supposed to be really difficult as well, which I've never played. But
with Hollow Knight, I got to the first main boss. And it was, I can't remember what her name was, but it was like another little bug like you. The one who's, I think it's going to be the playable character in the second game, Silk Song, I think it's called.
Okay.
You have to fight her. And I'm a bit like you. I had to fight her once, and I'd done it after hours. And then I read that, obviously, later on, you have to fight her again, and you have to fight all these even bigger. And I was just like, I just don't. This game is extremely difficult for me, and I just don't think I'm going to do it. Stop playing.
Yeah,
and it's one of those games.
Same thing for Returnal.
I can't just pick it up and play it, because I would have forgotten everything.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
You forget the way around the map and everything. So it's a shame, because it's a really good game. That the whole art of it, and all bugs, and like the fast travel system is like a bigger bug that's like a train. It's just, it's good, but
I don't think they should change. I don't think there's anything wrong with making a game difficult.
No,
and that's your audience. Like, I don't think Souls should change. It's for a certain audience. All right, it's not for me. Fine. There's plenty of games that are for me. So I don't want to take away anything from people. I just think there should be just a mode, an option for people that want to play it and just don't want that difficulty. You're not taking anything away from anybody. Keep it difficult for everybody that enjoys that. Perfect. But for those that don't, there should just be a little accessibility option. Just switch that on, off, and just make it a little bit easier for certain people that don't want that challenge.
Yeah. No, I completely understand. Yeah, and that's why I don't go for these games. I know they're not for me, and they are for other people. People love them. People love the challenge, but you know, Bloodborne is supposed to be one of the best PlayStation exclusive games around, and everyone's hankering for number 2. I know I'm not going to be very good at it, so I'll stay away.
Yeah. Did you ever play it?
I'll just carry on playing.
Have you ever played it?
No.
Okay.
I've got it in my library because it was on PlayStation Plus a little while ago.
Yeah, same.
But
I downloaded it.
I was talking to a friend about it, and he likes horror games, and I don't know if he talked to you about it as well at the weekend. It's like he started it, he couldn't get out of the village, and he was like, "Oh, I'm done." Like it's one of these games where you die and die and die, and obviously eventually you get better, and you have to learn learn the pattern of the bosses and that. But
sure.
No, it's not fun.
I'll personally play Bugsnax. I couldn't even get out of the house. You start like when you, if I remember rightly, you like create your character. You're like on this like operation table. You're in this like building, and then I went out the door. The first enemy, which was like some werewolf, and just grabbed me and just ripped me. And then all of a sudden, because of like the Souls loop, when you die, you go to like this hell place, like this garden that's got all those like gravestones. And then I tried getting out of there. I think I did. I came back, immediately died again, and I was like, and I uninstalled it and never played it again. Yeah,
it's not for me.
Yeah,
I'd rather play nice games.
So was Neo. Neo was another one, right? That is very difficult. I found that very difficult. Another samurai type thing. Just so hard.
I prefer the samurai games like Ghost of Tsushima. That's more.
A lot easier.
Yeah, that's
a lot easier. Far easier. Yeah.
But so that is Returnal. If anyone likes that game, and you know, I know there's people out there that love it and have done it, but not me. And I won't be trying because I am.
I'll jump back in once they add this. I think it will happen.
Yeah. You go back in then. Okay, so you could say this is the scary part of the podcast, Halloween. Oh, the latest state of play, because it was a little bit lackluster. Not really a lot shown.
I would go as far to say, because there have been some bad ones, but this may be the worst state of play ever.
And this is for Reece, and he loves PlayStation.
Is it? Can you remember one that's
no?
The one in February was bad. Yeah, I feel like this takes it to a whole nother level.
For me, obviously, there was one big announcement I did enjoy.
Fine. Yeah. That didn't do nothing for me.
So, we're going to talk about the state of play. So, we've got a list of all the games here that was announced, and let's get into it. So, we won't, it ain't going to be a long list. I'm just going to say what it is, and a little bit of what it's about, and then we can like it, don't like it, if we've heard of it, and whatnot. So,
sure.
Indie Band Simulator. We are OFK. Okay. So we are OFK, delightfully weird indie pop band simulator where you make music and flirt with other characters via choice-based dialogue. The narrative-driven adventure takes place across 5 episodes, each of exploring the challenges of trying to make it in the music industry. The story focuses on a very real struggle a lot of artists face to the imposter syndrome, heartbreak, miscommunication, and navigating conflict of personalities. We are OFK launches on PS4 and PS5 sometime next year alongside the in-game band's debut record. One idea, it sounds terrible, and I will not be playing it.
Obviously not. I'm not playing it either. However, I did enjoy the trailer, the tongue-in-cheek sense of humor at the beginning. I don't know if you remember the trailer, where there was almost breaking the third wall, talking, we're in this state of play. I did find that quite amusing. However,
I have enough for you to play the game?
Oh, absolutely. No. Just for pure entertainment. I just thought I was kind of switching off by then. And then I did just watch the trailer because I thought it was quite interesting. However, I've never heard of this band. I believe it is a real life band. Maybe if there was a band I've actually heard of or was interested in, might be actually interested in this.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting.
Like the Black Eyed Peas, the script.
That would get you in, wouldn't it? Yeah.
God. I don't like Black Eyed Peas. I think they're rubbish.
I'm just not interested in this band. No. Obviously, I don't know who they are. Never heard of them before. And also, episodic games, ain't they just dying? That's why Telltale is dead. People don't like it. Just release the whole thing. And this just screams no one's going to care.
Yeah, and like this here, you know, facing heartbreak and miscommunication, conflicting personalities. No, thank you. No, it's just,
it's like a Telltale game, but you're playing as an indie band.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you like this band. I guess this is cool.
Yeah, I hope the band's record does well. You know,
I don't know. Who do you like?
Ill will
you like
to
the Killers,
anyone.
didn't you? If this was the Killers,
I love the Killers. Yeah,
We Are the Killers. If it was We Are the Killers, which is a great name for a game, would you be interested?
No, I like the Killers. I like the Killers music. Yeah, and I like seeing the Killers live. You know, but I don't really care about playing a game about it. No,
all right, fine, fair enough.
Yes, this
done.
And Killers, you know, hometown Las Vegas. So there you go.
Cool. Yeah. There you go.
But I don't know if anyone cares about that. The next one, the biggest one. This is the big one. This saved the state of play. Everyone would know. People have listened for a while. They know I'm a big fan of the horror game, Bugsnax. So yeah, we've got Bugsnax, Isle of Big Snacks. Okay. So this is a free update that's coming out next year. It just says, sometime in 2022. DLC free update. I read the little description. The Isle of Big Snacks is a free expansion coming to Bugsnax sometime in 2022. As suggested in the DLC's title, there are a whole bunch of new Bugsnax on the way, and they're all freaking huge. There's also a new biome to explore, the titular Big Snacks Isle. Challenges to complete, which earn you furniture and accessories to your hut. And last, but certainly not least, bug hats. Hats for your Bugsnax. You can put hats in your Bugsnax, Reece. Come on.
You hyped for this generally?
I will actually play this when it comes out.
I know you will. You will. It's hilarious.
When I was watching it and it had the music, the little and I was like, yeah. And then you saw Bunga, and I was like, yeah, this is.
Yeah, you're
this
in.
Is it. Yeah.
Well, it's got more biomes than Halo, so you know.
Yeah, I think Bugsnax was a hidden gem last year. It really was.
Well, it was your game of the year, so
it was.
There you go. It was your game of the year, so
yeah.
I can't wait to see your list.
I started playing it as a joke. I was playing it ironically because you said we both had to play it for the podcast. You just didn't bother.
Oh yeah.
And then I got stuck in and ended up platinum it. So,
any more trophies?
I don't know. It doesn't say, but I imagine so. But hey, I'm there for the Bugsnax, mate. And
mate,
the big snacks. I'm there for the big snacks and the hats. You know. I do want to know though.
I have no comment on this game.
Spoiler alert! I don't want to ruin it for anyone. At the end of the last game, they all left the island of Bugsnax, and Philbo was running for mayor, and he's there again, and it looks like he's got like potato twister legs. So, did he not become mayor?
I don't know. Well, we will have to find out. I can't wait.
That's what I want to know. What's happened? Why is what's going on with Philbo's mayoral election? That's the most important thing that I need answered. So,
well, we'll see if these big questions get answered.
Those are big questions, yeah.
In the DLC.
I love Big Snacks. Everyone loves that. I can't wait. So the next one, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach.
Oh God, this game.
On a side note, I was trying to find something to watch last night, flicking through, put Sky Movies on. There was a Nicolas Cage film called, what's it called? Something Weasel. Anyway, it's basically Nicolas Cage having to clean this like restaurant at night, and all the animatronic animals come alive and try and kill him, and he's just beating them to death.
Okay.
So it's a.
I wondered where this story was going. I was thinking, has this got anything to do with anything? It's a Nicolas Cage movie.
It's a Five Nights at Freddy's film.
Okay.
Wally's Wonderland. That's what it's called, and he doesn't talk for the entire film. He's just beaten to death.
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage, yeah.
That's hilarious.
He's just beaten to death. There's a turtle.
Is he a terrible actor? I feel like he's a bad actor.
I think he's all right. Yeah, he was quite good in this, even though he didn't talk. And a lot of like
outside Con Air, I feel like every movie he's been in is bad.
Con Air's amazing. No, Face Off, that's good.
All right, no.
Yeah, Face Off's good.
What
else has he been in? He's been in a lot of stuff, but
he's done a lot of bad movies.
Yeah. But yeah, Wally's Wonderland. Check that out. It's weird. But back to Five Nights at Freddy's. Never played a Five Nights at Freddy's game. Never.
I've never played it.
No.
I've never played any of them. Doesn't interest me at all. In fact, I can't wait for this game to come out so it's not shown at another state of play. It's become the new Deathloop. It's like at every event. I feel like we've seen the same trailer about 7 times. Stop showing it.
Let me read you a little description of this. So, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach debuted a new nightmare-inducing trailer with plenty of gameplay to hold you over until the game launches on PS4 and PS5 on December the 16th. There you go, this date. The game follows a very unfortunate little boy named Gregory, who will need to escape the treacherous Freddy Fazbear's mega pizzaplex, which of course is crawling with freaky killer animatronics. Stillwell Studios executive producer Ray McCarthy described Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach as easily the most ambitious game in the series, and honestly, we're not so sure we're prepared. So
what?
I don't know.
That's a weird statement.
I've not played one of these games before, but this one looks a bit different. Like I think there's one point you climb into like one of them, like a robot.
Yeah.
Where it wasn't the other one, you was just a security guard. You had to keep checking the security cameras and avoiding them in case as soon as they got you, you died.
Okay.
That's what it was. Where this one looks like you just get into a mech and you can just like maybe like beating the shit out of them. Maybe they're reinventing
I don't know.
it.
Honestly, it's still stealth horror, right? That's the main.
Yeah. They're changing it up a bit. Hey, if I don't know, let us know if you're a fan of Five Nights at Freddy's. Is this good? Because we don't know because we've not played them.
Yeah, I think it just looks terrible. Sorry if I'm offending anybody. I just think it's terrible. I don't want to see it again. Stop this. Let's move on.
You never want Reece. Reece is angered by the Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, I am. I don't know. It annoys me. Just move on.
Yeah.
Can we move on, please?
That's that one. Okay. Next one. Death's Door announced for PS4, PS5, and Switch. So Death's Door, the acclaimed indie RPG that launched on Xbox and PC in July, is coming to PS4, PS5, and Nintendo Switch on November the 23rd. Developer Acid Nerve announced, we call Death's Door a love letter to Legend of Zelda, sealed with blood red wax, and reckon it's one of the best indie games of the year. So yeah, did you see the trailer of this one?
I did. I've obviously heard of it. It's on Game Pass, right? People are loving it. It's one of those Game of the Year contenders. You always get one of those indie games like Hades was last year.
Yeah.
You get one of those smaller, these types of art style games, and they're just really solid in terms of gameplay. If you like this type of game, you're just going to love it. A bit like Hollow Knight that we spoke about before, and Celeste, and I don't know. You can name them. This is this year's version of that.
It does look really good.
Yeah, it's going to win awards. It will win awards. A game of
I haven't played it. I think. If it is on Game Pass, maybe I'll give it a go. But
I'm quite confident it is.
Maybe. The next one, free to play Kart Rider Drift announced. Yep. So Kart Rider Drift is a new entry into Xeon's racing series, which goes all the way back to 2004's Crazy Racing Kart Rider. Although the name still isn't widely recognised outside of Asia, Kart Rider Drift boasts updated next generation visuals, full cross play support, and updated gameplay systems. There's a closed beta coming on December the 8th. Yeah, I've never heard of I've never heard of this before.
No,
I saw it, and it just looks just like a kart racer, really. You know what I mean?
Mario Kart knockoff.
Yeah. So I don't play these. I play Mario Kart, but that's about it, really. So
Crash Team Racing. Do you ever play Crash Team Racing?
I never played Crash. Oh, I played Crash Team Racing because there was a PlayStation when my mate was getting married, and when we was getting ready, I played it then for the first time ever. It was all right.
Oh wow!
But it was.
I love.
I don't know.
It was so good.
What about you? You play a lot of kart races?
No, obviously I played Mario Kart plenty over the years, all different versions. Obviously that is the gold standard, and I think Crash Team Racing is a very close second. Everything else has been pretty much shit. I don't know how else to say it. However, when I was watching this trailer, all I was thinking was, please be free. Please be free to play. Because if you're charging for this, I think the game's got no chance. The only way it's going to have any chance of doing well is if it was free to play. And when they said it was free to play, I was like, fine, I'll jump in. And I'm sure plenty of people will.
Sorry, I'm just going to let you hang on. I need to make sure there's none at my door because my dogs are barking.
Yeah, go for it. I'll talk about this. I'll go on to the next game as well. But yeah, like I was saying, while Brad mysteriously goes to see a man at the front door, I wonder who this man is. Is it the news? Not the news. The postman? I don't know. Guess we'll find out when he's back. But Yeah, there's a beta in December. Like I said, I'll give it a go. And if it's free to play, we'll see how good it is. But the next game was called King of Fighters, which just looks like a PS2. I remember seeing the trailer and I was thinking, well, this is the most anime PS2 fighter I have ever seen. Cross between, I don't know, Tekken and Street Fighter or whatever it is. I'm not into the fighting genre, so got not much of an opinion on it other than I don't think it's going to do very well. I like a lot of these things. It kind of has, I don't know, maybe people are into those games. It might have a little bit of wind in its sails, and then as soon as it's out, people just won't talk about it. Don't know what Brad thinks. Perhaps we'll go back to it when he's back, but I very doubt, knowing his taste, that he'll have any form of opinion on it. The next game, First Class Trouble. So First Class Trouble was, I don't even know how to describe this game. And my thoughts on it is, these developers clearly liked Fallout. It just screamed Fallout to me, like the art style, the 60s or the 50s or I don't know. Like, what is it that you're doing? I don't understand. Is it a co-op game? Is it a single player game? I don't know. Perhaps Brad can elaborate on that a little bit more, because I'm not entirely sure what that game is. Other than I feel like it's very heavily inspired by the art style of Fallout.
Okay. Yes. What game is that? Sorry.
First Class Trouble. Do you remember that trailer?
No.
Yeah, no, I did briefly talk about King Fighters, if you want to go back to that.
No, yeah, I saw that. King is...
Yeah, I knew I said that I don't think you'd be interested in that. It's screamed like PS2, like anime fighter. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, this First Class Trouble, yeah, I saw it's on PlayStation Plus, isn't it?
Yes.
Next month, yeah. I think it's kind of like, what was that game? What was the game everyone was playing last year in lockdown? What was it? Oh, my memory's so bad. With the little imposters and
what you mean? That was this year, right? I know what you're talking about. Is it really like that? I didn't think it was like a.
I think it is. Yeah, you
either
play a passenger Among Us. Yeah, you either play as a passenger or a decoy, and you have to sabotage and.
Oh, okay, fine. So it's like Among Us, but with a different skin. Yeah. Oh, okay, fine, fair enough.
Yeah.
Do you think the art style, like these people really like Fallout, like from the text to the like everything? I don't know. Just watching it, I was thinking. These looks like
it's very kind of like Fallout and a little bit of BioShock as well. I can imagine like what Rapture was before it fell apart.
Yeah. These developers like Fallout, and you can tell they've been inspired by it. It's quite clear. Yeah,
I've got a little so Social Deduction Games First Class Trouble launched on Steam Early Access earlier in the year and is now been announced as a free PlayStation Plus game for November 21. Yeah, so I think it is. Yeah, it's like Among Us, like you got to deceive people, and that's the goal of the game.
Okay, well, it's on PS Plus. I'll add it to my library. Yeah. You can just say we might.
Yeah, give it a go.
I don't know if you need more people or there's matchmaking. We'll see.
I imagine there's matchmaking.
Sure.
I think this is the last game. Oh no, it's the second for last. So Star Ocean, The Divine Force. A new entry in the long running Star Ocean franchise comes to PS4 and PS5 in 2022, called Star Ocean, The Divine Force. Features a story with branching narratives which seem to have more explorable and open world. And according to Square Enix show, if I pronounce this wrong, sorry, show Ishiba, the fastest and mightiest action in the series. So you like your JRPGs? You ever played a Star?
I've never played Star Ocean. Never even heard of it, if I'm completely honest. When I did see Square Enix pop up at the beginning of this trailer, I was like, oh yes, finally a game for me. Yeah. There's quite a few Square Enix games that are coming exclusively to PlayStation, like what's that Platinum game? Babylon Fall, Final Fantasy. Also, so I was thinking, fine, wow, one of these two games, I'm both really interested. And then it was obviously this. It looks cool. The jetpack thing looked interesting, where you're flying around open world. It looks very Square Enix. Japanese game. Whether or not I get it, I'm not sure. But I'm just watching. I'm intrigued. I'll see more. I'm open to it. That's what I'm going to say. But I've never played one. I have no opinion on the franchise, other than I guess it's one of those long-standing Japanese franchises, but it's not one of the big ones. You know what I mean? It's not like a Final Fantasy or I don't know, Dragon Age, not Dragon Age. What's the Dragon Quest? That's what I was trying to think. Like really big ones, Persona or whatever. So
I just
one of the smaller ones.
How many of the games are like this are there in Japan that just never get released over here? Like, if you love these games, you just must be, and you live in Japan, you just must have something to play all the time. Just,
Yeah, it's quite interesting, isn't it, that there's so many games that just get released just in Japan and they never come to the West.
Exactly, yeah.
Particularly in like the 90s and stuff. And what was it? There was a few games which complete parts would like change depending on like the area it was in. I think I was listening to David Jaffe, who was the director of the original God of War. And he said for the European version, like the UK version of God of War, there's like a part where there's skeletons being burnt. Originally, they had it as a person, but that wasn't allowed outside America. So in America's version, they had a person being burnt alive in a cage, and everywhere else around the world had like a skeleton.
Oh, wow.
So it's like, oh, wow, okay. Because obviously there was like different demographic like areas where you could only play your game depending on your area. So because things were changed, like depending on what area you're in, parts were changed because the publishers were like, no, you can't have that. Like blah blah blah. So not only were games not released, games would change depending on where you were playing them. So
that's really interesting. Yeah, it's crazy. I know like the original Mario Brothers 2 wasn't. It was just like a much harder version of Mario Brothers 1 that was released in Japan, and it never got. I think it was years and years until it got released outside of Japan, because the Mario Brothers 2 we had wasn't, that was the one where you could pick up the plants from the ground and you could play as Luigi, Peach, Toad, and Mario.
Yeah,
that wasn't the real like Mario 2, but I think we spoke about that before. But
it's quite
they just thought Western audiences wouldn't be able to do it, so they was like, don't bother.
Even with the naming convention of their consoles, they're being named differently in different places, like Sega, like the Mega Drive and stuff.
And like
isn't that mad that they just naming them different? Why would just not be the name the same?
Yeah, we had the SNES, like, and that's what people called this, like that's what we called the SNES. But then in Japan, I think it's called the Famicom, and maybe in America as well, it's called the Famicom. I think I don't know, but
I think it's the SNES, but they don't say SNES, they say SNES or whatever.
Yeah, it was SNES, and then like you say, the Genesis. Like, that's a Mega Drive. You know what I mean? It's it's what I was told. And I know there was different. Like, going back to the SNES. You had the version we had, and then you look at the version that I think it was in North America, maybe Japan, with the purple on it. I think the version we had looked a lot better, like curved, smooth lines. It looked a lot better than the.
I don't remember what
the other one.
I have a version of that.
It's it looked completely different, and I think the version we got was a lot more appealing. But it's weird.
Fair enough.
The last game. This one interested me a little bit. It interested me the last time we saw it as well. And it's The Little Devil Inside. NeoStream's minimalist indie adventure game. Little Devil Inside showed off a new gameplay trailer. And like the world map. So like the world map, you see like little, I don't know, those like little dull interpretations of the characters that's popping around.
Yeah, the art style is very interesting.
Yeah. It's scheduled to launch first on PS4 and PS5 and PC before coming to Xbox One and Series X and Switch sometime thereafter. So in the trailer, it says 2022. So it knows coming next year. But this whole, like this indie title, it does look good and it does appeal to me. Don't know why, but
there's something aesthetically pleasing about the art style. I don't know if I would play the game. There's quite a few games where you can say, the art style is quite cool. There's like a different type of game.
Yeah.
But I probably won't play it. It's probably a little bit like, what was that game you played where it was about emotions and feelings that you played it? It was on PS Plus.
It was about
Concrete Genie?
Concrete Genie, yeah.
Yeah.
That was good.
A bit like that. It was a different...
Yeah.
I kind of see that in a similar vein as like this.
Yeah.
Not comparing the two, but do you know what I mean? Similar. Like if it was on PS Plus and people give it a go, they'll probably be like, "Oh wow, this is a really good game." Really good, but there's not enough there for me to say I would want to buy it.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd end up buying it day one, but hey, if it comes on PlayStation Plus, I'll play it. Bugsnax, PlayStation Plus, done it. Concrete Genie, brilliant, played it. So that's one to look out for. But that was it. That was it for State of Play.
Yeah. Overall thoughts? lackluster, you said.
Very disappointing, yeah. Lackluster, yeah. Not really anything shown. Yeah, I don't really know why I just don't know. Sometimes you kind of they want people to keep informed of what's coming up and that. But if you haven't got anything major to show, then just don't worry. You know,
Yeah.
It's like
I totally agree with
Capcom at E3 when they showed a game that had been out for like a month, Resident Evil, and it's like, why are you here? Like, what? Just don't worry about it.
Yeah, I feel like with this one, it almost felt like they were contracted to show these games. Like when they agreed to do the marketing on behalf of these games, or whoever, or maybe the publishers paid Sony to have it. I don't know what the deal is, but however, there seems to be some kind of contract that says that they agreed with these guys that we will put you in a state of play as a part of our marketing. So then they were like, got to the end of the year, like, oh shit, we need to obligate this contract term. Let's just put them all in together at the end of the month.
Yeah,
bung them all together, because that's what it feels like. It's like, all right, these shows are not entertainment shows; they are marketing shows at the end of the day. So maybe we should expect to be entertained, but at the same time, when you're posting, join us at this specific time during a specific day, you set expectations, and if you want to keep those expectations high or keep people excited, you kind of got to deliver a little bit of an excitement, right? Exactly. Maybe there was someone who really liked that indie band, really liked Death's Door, and really liked Devil Inside, and they're like, wow, what a fantastic save. But maybe there was someone out there that loved this. But for the majority of people, I just feel like they probably went away thinking, oh, well, I don't know if I'm going to bother tuning into the next day of play.
Yeah.
We will for the podcast, but what seems a little bit
Hey, and we give you we give you analysis of it, so you don't have to watch it. You can just listen to us. So,
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But so yeah.
Before we move on, who was at the door? Was it the postman?
No
I guessed the postman.
There was no one. No one. My dogs decided they heard a noise outside and they thought they'd go absolutely mad. And no one there. I thought
for the Halloween trick or treaters,
it's broad daylight outside, so
yeah, okay.
You know, and I'm one of these people that's going to pretend I'm not in tonight, so no one knocks at the door. Mainly because these dogs, I just can't handle a load of kids knocking at the door asking for sweets when the dogs are just going absolutely crazy. So
sure, yeah,
it's best if I just pretend I'm not in. Yeah,
just gonna turn off the lights, draw the curtains, and just
show the curtains. Yep.
Okay.
Not here. Yeah.
So. Yeah, I never had that problem when I was in my apartment.
Yeah.
Though we don't have that problem here. It's quite a quiet road. We don't have no one will knock.
Yeah. I think the general rule over here, I know it's massive in America. But I think the general rule over here in the UK is if people have got like Halloween decorations out, then that's them saying
it's a ghost.
Knock here and get some sweets. Whereas if you haven't got anything, just don't bother. So yeah, but there was no one. I'm waiting for my travel money to be delivered. So that's what I thought it might have been, but it wasn't.
Coming in a suitcase.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit like Deal or No Deal. No, the £1 billion was in like a chrome.
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting
suitcase.
For. Yeah, but it wasn't. No,
it wasn't. Okay.
Yeah, because I'm taking $300. So that's big bucks.
Oh wow, no, that's a lot. Gonna spend it all in one night.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Anyway,
the next part is
Reece plays.
Reece plays because
Reece plays. What has Reece been playing this week?
Well, you've been playing Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know how much of Guardians of the Galaxy you've been playing because yesterday you felt quite vulnerable. But
vulnerable.
Yeah, in a vulnerable state.
Yes, I was feeling a little bit hungover yesterday from
Mr. Jaeger made you feel unwell.
Mr. Jaeger doesn't like me very much. He kind of gives me I don't know, he kind of draws me in. I feel like I'm fired, and all of a sudden he just hits me in the face.
You're like, he's like, hey Reece, like, this time's gonna be all right. You're like, you know what, Mr. Jaeger, I believe you. And then he's like, yeah, guess what? I was lying. You're gonna be ill.
Deception.
Yeah.
Deceitful person.
Yeah, I can't drink Sambuca. Sambuca does the same to me.
Oh really? I don't mind Sambuca. No, to be fair, they both everything does it to me.
I think I've done 8 shots in one night once. No, more than that. And I was very, very ill. So
that is an awful lot. Anyway, Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, I've played. I don't know how many hours I'm in. I'm still pretty early. I'm on like mission 2, 3, something like that. So I'm still pretty early in it. Although I didn't download it until Thursday evening because this is one of these games where which my friend who I game share with, he bought this one. So I was just waiting for him to purchase it. And then I gave it a little download Thursday evening. It's very good. It's a very linear game to jump into. I'm not going to spoil it because one, I'm very early and obviously it's a new game, so I don't want to spoil any type of linear story. So I'm not going to talk about the story, what's going on. However, I'm very much enjoying it. It reminds me a little bit of a cross between Uncharted because of how linear it is and the storytelling. And also Final Fantasy 7 remake. Only because of the combat and how you use your companions. So you're controlling you play as Star-Lord. If you don't know, I'm sure most people know that by now. And the other Guardians are just controlled by, I don't know, NPC. They're just you don't control them, but they're kind of semi-automatic, so you can tell them what to do during combat. So they all have like special abilities. For example, Groot can like pin people down. He's like tree and he like uses branches, as you can imagine, and then Rocket throws like grenades and stuff. So there is a bit of tactics to it. So when you've got enemies that are moving about, you can use Groot to pin someone down and use one of the characters like Drax or Rocket or what's the female's name? Can't remember. Or who? Gamora, that's it. Yeah. They're more like damage based abilities. So you can pin them down and then you can like go in with one of those to do the damage. I'm enjoying it very much. So I don't know if you would enjoy it more if you didn't know who the Guardians of the Galaxy are, or if you've never seen the movies, because that is what makes the game. It's their dynamic and their characters, although it's not quite the same as the MCU, but obviously it's very similar, and the music is a big part of it. It's playing like it's not really playing 80s soul like the movies do. It's more like 80s rock. But it's still like 80s pop rock. It's still quite cool, and it's good to actually have like his music in a game. I think it's really making it, and it's just their dynamic of obviously if you've seen the movies, you know what I'm talking about. They all like to argue, and Drax doesn't trust Gamora, get my words out, and it's just a really fun of how dysfunctional they all are as a group, but yet they're still getting through it, and you get to make choices as Star-Lord. I don't know how much of a consequence these choices are making because I'm still so early in it, but however when you make a choice, it seems to have an impact on whether or not a character trusts you or not, because it comes up the top corner. Oh, this person doesn't trust you, or they do trust you based on that. And so I imagine it has some form of consequence, whether or not, because it's so linear, I always question how much the butterfly effect is actually taking place, because I feel like surely we're always going to this mission, always going, because it's so linear. But I'm very much enjoying it. It's a great game. If you like your single player games, if you like an Uncharted or like a Sony type game,
this is for you.
And you like Marvel or you like Guardians, you're also going to like this. The only criticism I would say in terms of like the game so far is the performance mode, which I'm a little surprised by. PS5 Series X performance mode. So if you want 60 frames, it drops it down to 1080p. Which is a bit you could have done better with that. It's not like that on PC. So you got all the bells and whistles if you do it in quality mode, which is 4K. I think we've got a little bit of ray tracing in there as well, I believe. It looks far better in quality mode than it does performance. Despite I much prefer playing it with 60 frames. But it is what it is.
That's your little
criticism of it, but so far it's very good. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the story. I'm enjoying the characters. Their humor is quite funny. And considering I know or watch all the Guardian movies, and obviously I can. It's so easy. It's not so easy. It's hard. It's difficult not to compare it. Because when you've because you've only got one almost like well-known version of the Guardians, which is the movie version, like Chris Pine and Star-Lord and all these actors, like you're used to those versions. Because I've never read the comics or never seen them in any cartoons. The only version I've got in my mind is the MCU version. So it's hard not to compare them. And it's certainly holding its own. I'm not saying it's better, but it's certainly good. and it's holding its own. But I feel like when you like players like Batman or Spider-Man, because there's so many versions of it, you don't compare them because there's so many versions of those characters. Where this, it's hard not to, and that's why I think you didn't get the great PR, because when people looked at the character designs, it was like, well, Star-Lord doesn't look like Chris Pratt, so like people were a bit like shitting on it. It's the
same as when Avengers come out. There was like, well, this doesn't look like Chris Hemsworth or Mark Ruffalo or Scarlett Johansson.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But Spider-Man, no one's saying, oh, he doesn't look like Tom Holland or Tobey Maguire, or he's just Peter Parker. So same as Bruce Wayne and Batman. It's just the fact that we haven't got loads of different versions of these characters. You only got one well-known version. So, but if anything, it's a testament of how good it is, the fact that it's still holding its own against the MCU, and the MCU versions are fantastic. They're great, and so this is really good so far.
Excellent, sweet. I will play it eventually, most likely, maybe 3 or 4 years down the line. Just like, I'm playing Far Cry 5 still, so...
Sure. I know you're one of these people that will say, oh, wait for a sale. But, you will 100% like it. It's a single-player game, Guardians, it's quite funny, story-based, driven, combat's pretty decent. I have no doubts that you would
like it,
thoroughly enjoy it.
Cool, sweet. I think that's it. I think it's a bit of a short one this week, but I think that's
is that it for this week?
To talk about, we've found some stuff and we've talked about it for over an hour, so this is what we do.
Sure. Have you played anything this week before we go? Have you played a game?
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm still playing Far Cry 5.
Okay.
So done the first. There's like 3 sections. There's like 3 of these cult people you have to take out. I've taken out the first one. The next one I've got to take out. She's called Faith. And on every Far Cry game, I don't know about the new one, there's like trippy levels. You hallucinate and everything. And I don't really enjoy those levels that much. So I thought I'd get that one out and over and done with, and then I'll move on. But so
sure.
It's good.
I vaguely remember the game. I don't want to say I don't enjoy it. I feel like I'm not the biggest Far Cry fan, quite clearly. Every time I play one, I'm always like drawn into them. I feel like I forget how much I don't enjoy it. And then 5 years later, when the next one comes out, I'm like, it was kind of all right. The trailer looks okay. Let's just jump in. I don't mind it. And then I play it again. I'm just like, no, I just can't. There's always something. I feel like it's how I feel about Halo. Like the Ubisoft games these days, it's like there's too much competition. For it just to be good. Like it needs to be great, right?
Yeah, the way Ubisoft's going, maybe that would be the last Far Cry game. They come out like, in its current state.
Potentially, although I don't know what the sales are like. But if it's sold well, then they're not going to do anything, right? They're just going to keep doing the same. Evident from everything. Although they did change Assassin's Creed quite a few times, considering it's probably what their most important franchise, you'd say. I think it's fair to say that. So and they're probably on top, obviously, top of their game at the moment with Valhalla breaking records, being the best-selling game. And then after that, they still decide that they're still not making enough money, and they're going to change to a live service game. So
there you go.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
It might be good.
I've still got to go back to Valhalla at some point. So
once again,
and Mass Effect 3. I've got to play Mass Effect 3.
True. Anyway.
It'd be interesting to see what my most played game this year will be. They give you the stats at the end of the year. And I'd like to see what game it was.
Prediction, what is it?
I don't know. Maybe I think it's going to be either Mass Effect 1 or 2. I think maybe that's.
I imagine it would count as both, right? Because it's just one game.
Maybe, yeah. So if it counts, if it counts as the Legendary Edition, it will be Mass Effect, yeah. And then maybe I don't. I'm surprised, shock. I haven't really played that many games this year. But in fairness, it's November tomorrow, and I don't know how that's happened. So, it'd probably be Resident Evil, maybe, because I played that for a little while. So,
sure, no, mine without doubt is going to be Destiny 2.
Yes,
without question. I'd probably put in hundreds of hours this year again. Don't know what number 2 would be. I have no idea. Perhaps Mass Effect. Don't know what else I spent a long time with. Final Fantasy I spent quite a bit of time with as well. Not sure.
I have to wait.
Scrolls Online, maybe. Play that for a hot summer. was into that for a bit, trying to get into it, and then all of a sudden just jumped out.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, we'll see. Yeah. Anyway, that was it for this week. Thanks for listening and making it to the end. I hope you had a good Halloween.
Yes.
And we'll join you next week for episode 70.
The rudest number. I know why number 70 is rude.
Actually. You can tell me about it next week. I don't know.
We'll do, yeah.
All right,
cool.
cheers.
Right.
Until then,
thanks everyone. Bye.